Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our next video in our dotCMS headless playlist. So, in the previous video, we have completed our section heading right over here, which looks something like this on our Next.js frontend app. And today, we'll go and target our this bio section, which will be having three different paragraphs right over here. And then this will be having multiple cards, which will be having icons, headings, as well as text right over here. And in this video, we might be seeing what is the best practice to render icons coming from dotCMS headlessly via all those REST and GraphQL APIs. So without wasting our time, let's roll the intro and start the video. So without wasting our time, let's open a new tab and go to our dotCMS instance right over here. Let's just log in with this, not this one, but it's admin@dotcms.com. The password is admin. Let's log in and let's go into our schema, into content types. And now this time I'll be creating a new content type, which will be our bio section right over here. So it's bio section. And if you want, you can select some icon, maybe like section or something like this, or maybe like user, something like this. And then you can say this is our bio section. And then I will just create this stuff. Now, once your content type is ready, let's see what fields we need for displaying that. So we need three different paragraphs right over here. Let's see how the code look like. If you just go into our terminal and let's go into our wipe coded side, and inside our about section, you can see in the previous we have done our section heading, but this is the next one right over here in which we'll be having three different paragraphs, 1, 2, and 3. And then we will be having this data in which we'll be having our title, icon, and description. So let's go and first map these three paragraphs. So I will just go and drop text area right over here. But before that, let me just go with a row. And then I will use two column layout and I will just read the previous one. The reason I'm using two column layout is obviously because we're having two columns right over here, because this really gives the best perspective for our content authors what the UI will look like once they provide this content type, right? So once you are done with that, so on our left side, we will be having three different paragraphs. So let's drop our text area. So this number one, and this will be our paragraph one. It's required. Let's save stuff. Then we'll be having our second text area, which will be our paragraph two. I will also mark this as required, and then I'll be having my paragraph three right over here. So it's paragraph, and then it will be two right over here, and it's also required. Now we are done with our left side because we need three paragraphs. So we are done with that part. Now for the right side, we will be having our card layout right over here. And if you just go into our coding section, you can see right over here, this looks in a form of an array, right? And we know, and you know that the best practice for render this content is using our JSON field, right? So I will just come into our browser. Let's just drop a JSON field right onto our right side. And then I will call these as like cards and then data. And let's keep this as required and let's save the stuff. And our content type is ready right over here. So the next step is obviously we have to use this content type and create a contentlet. But before that, we have to add this into our menu. So let's go and create add to menu, and just, the name is bio section, and I will add this into our content menu right over here and in the form of list. So let's add this stuff and we are good to go. Now, once you have done that, the next step is go and create the first contentlet of this bio section type. So I will go into our content section, into our bio section right over here. Let's go and add the stuff and add new content. And right over here, this is our paragraph 1, 2, and 3. And then we will be having our cards data in the form of JSON right over here. So for paragraph 1, I will just go and copy the stuff from here. So let me just copy this and paste it here. That's paragraph 1. And for this one, I'll just go and copy this one. And I'll just go and paste it right over here. So paragraph 2. And then I'll just copy the last one. Just copy the stuff and paste it right over here. Now, once you have your three paragraphs ready, the next step is go and display your cards data. So I will just go into our terminal and I will just copy this array from here to maybe something like this. And once you copy the stuff, all you have to do is to just open a new tab and let's say JavaScript object to JSON. Just search this one and this will provide you the converter. So let's come over here, paste the content. And over here, I will call this as like, let's open a curly bracket and let's close the curly bracket over here. And this time right over here, I will call this as data and this something like this. Now, once you have done this, let me see if I'm missing something. And now the only problem over here is that this icon stuff is in JSX, which is not a valid JSON format. So we will be playing the trick over here in which we'll be separating our this icon in a separate string, as well as this icon class name in another separate string. So this time what I will be doing is I'll be creating one more thing, which is icon class, and this will be of the class name, which is about text-tag. And then for the icon, I will just use the icon name of the Lucid icon we are using. So I will just remove this stuff and I will just provide double quotes right over here. Now, what I will be doing is I'll be using this icon name to get the content or get the icon from the Lucid React library, and then I will be providing this icon class, which will be coming from dotCMS in shape of strings. So let me go and change the rest of the other strings as well. And now once you have done that, you get a proper JSON formatted data right over here. So let me just copy my JSON data, get back to my .cms environment, and let's paste the card data right over here. And let's publish the stuff. So once you have published right over here, all you have to do is to just go into site manager, into your pages, into your about page. And over here, all you have to do is to just go into layout and drop a new row right over here. Let's expand the container to full width because our content is taking the full width of the screen. And once that is done, let's go to our content section right over here and let's drop our bio section, which we have recently created. So let's drop this right over here. And as usual, we are not having our React component for rendering our bio section. So let's go and get our hands dirty with the code. Okay, so now let's go into our IDE right over here. And over here, you can see this is what our section look like. So in the previous one, we dealt with section heading, but in this one, we'll be copying this section, which starts from here, having 3 different paragraphs and this data right over here. So what I'll be doing is, without wasting our time, let me just go and copy all the stuff from here up till our last div, which is right over here. Let me just copy it. And once you have copied it, let's go back to our Next.js app. Let's create a new content type, which will be bio section.tsx. And over here, I will just create a function. So it's support function, and then this will be a bio section. And over here, what I will be doing is I'll be just telling that return, and then we will be pasting our content right over here. So let me just go one step back. Let's save the stuff, and I guess we are good to go. Let me see if I'm having any exceptions. So we are having exceptions that we are not able to find these icons. So let me see what I am missing. So let's go one step forward. Yeah, so these icons are missing. Let me see and import all these from our Lucid React Pro library, and we have successfully imported. Now, once you have your section ready, all you have to do is to just come over here, which is our index.ts, duplicate the line, and this time just register our bio section component right over here. Let me just import that as well, and I guess we are good to go. And now if you just come to your Chrome right over here, you can see your bio section being rendered right over here. And if you just go to your front end side, which is Next.js, and refresh it, right over here, you can see your bio section is being rendered. But the only problem is that it is taking the full width, which is not similar to our web project side. So let's see what we are missing. And I know what I'm missing is that this section right over here, you can see is being wrapped in this motion section right over here. So what I will be doing is I will just copy this thing right over here. Let's go back over there in our bio section, and let's wrap this in our motion section with our page variants. So let's go back and see what page variants look like. So let me just copy our page variants, come over here and paste it right over here. And then I need to wrap this. Let's see how it has done that. So let me see, copy this line, come over here, and let's go there and paste it right over here, and let me save this. And once you have saved that, I think we need to import our motion from Motion React, and I guess we are good to go. And now if you just come to your browser right over here and just go to your front end side, you can see right over here our sections look similar to the one right over here, apart from a little padding being added right over here. So let's go and remove that as well. So in our motion section right over here, you can see we are having some padding in y-axis. So let me just remove that and let's save the stuff. And I guess now this time it looks similar to this right over here. There is still some padding available, but I think it's working fine for now. Again, you can go and style this according to your needs. And now it's time to get our data from dotCMS into our this bio section component. So let's start the proceedings. So let's go into our Chrome browser and over here into our schema, into our bio section. So these are all the variables and fields we are having. So it's paragraph 1, 2, and 3. Let's go and create the interface for our props. So it will be interface, and this will be bio section props. And over here, this will be an object which will be having our paragraph 1, which will be of type string. And then let me just duplicate this right over here. And then this will be paragraph 2. So let me call this as paragraph 2. And let's go over here. And this will be paragraph 3 right over here. Let me just reconfirm our variable names. And I think we are good to go. And the next step is obviously our cards data, which will be in the form of JSON. So I will just come over here. I will say cards data, and this time it will be an object, which will be having our data in the shape of an object, which will be of type array. So let's go and map this array object as well by looking into the data format. So let's go into our content, into bio section content. And over here, let me go edit. So we'll be having our title, our icon class, and our description. So I can call this as like a title, which will be of type string. And then we will be having our icon, which will also be of type string. Then we will be having our icon class, which is also of type string. And then we will be having our description, which is TESC, and this will also be of type string. And once you have done that, we have successfully mapped our data in shape of bio section props right over here. So let's go and destructure our data and use it in our React component. So now let's come over here. Let's go one step back. Let's open our curly bracket. And over here, we will be using our bio section props, and let's restructure our paragraph 1, our paragraph 2, our paragraph 3, as well as our cards data. And let's save it so that we could get our formatting. And now let's use our paragraph first. So I will just remove this line, this line, this line, and this will be our paragraph 1. And let me just remove our these lines of our second paragraph, and this will be our paragraph 2. And then I will be removing these lines right over here, and then I will just call it as like paragraph 3 right over here. And once you have your paragraph mapped, let's go into our next section, which will be having our title, icon, and description. And over here, this is where we have to think a little for mapping our icons coming from .cms. So let me just remove the stuff from here first, and I will just go forward till I get my array, and I will just remove till here. And then I will be using our cards data.data.map, and this will be having our, I would say, icon, which is in shape of string. Our title, our description is good, but in case of icon, we have to think a little more. And the reason is quite obvious, because this time our icon is not a JSX element, but it's rather a string coming from .scenes. So what I'll be doing is I will just create a helper function which will take that string and will map that to a Lucid React, I would say, icon from our Lucid React library, right? So let's come over here in our file explorer, and over here inside, I would say, our utils, I will just create a new function, or a new, I would say, file with the name of like icon loader.tsx. Again, I'm keeping this in utils, but feel free to keep it anywhere you like. So I will be creating our icon loader.tcs right over here. And I've already, for time saving, I already have created the code. So let me just copy that and paste it right over here. This is what the code looks like. So what I will be doing is I'm just creating an icon name type, which is taking all the, I would say, name of the keys of icons present in Lucid React icons. So if you just come over here and over on this, you can see that now we are getting all the, I would say, icon names in shape of strings. Once you have created that icon name type, I've created a function IconRenderer in which I'm taking that icon name, then the class name, and I'm just verifying that the icon name should be in all the icons mentioned in, I would say, mentioned in the Lucid React library. And the reason I'm checking it is because at runtime, our content authors can provide invalid strings. So in case if the icon name is not falling inside all icons from Lucid React, we will be just throwing a warning and returning a null React component. But if the icon name is valid, we will be returning an icon component with the class name which is being passed inside our this function of IconRenderer. So that's all you have to do. Now the good part is that if you just save this file and just go back to our bio section, and instead of calling like item.icon, I can call it like icon renderer, and over this I can pass an object saying icon name, which will be our, I would say, item.icon, and for the class name it will be our icon, sorry, not icon, but it will be our item dot, let me tap that right, so it's item dot icon class right over here. And once you have done that, you are, I guess, good to go. And the reason is quite obvious, because this time it is saying that the type string is not assignable to the type which we have created, right? So what I will be doing is I will be just typecasting this to our icon name right over here. But before that, I have to export this as well. So I will just go over here and I will export type icon name, and then I will just come over here and I will just typecast this to our icon name, and I guess we are good to go. And now this is where the real magic will happen. So now if you just come to your Chrome browser, let me just close this dialog over here and let's go to our front-end app and let's refresh the stuff. You can see right over here, this looks very much similar to our previous bio section. But the good part is that now we can just change our stuff because it is being, I would say, rendered headlessly from our dotCMS. So let's say if I just come to our bio section right over here, let's edit the stuff. And let's say I want to make some changes in our third paragraph. Say this paragraph is updated or whatever, just ignore the spelling mistakes for now. But in case of right over here, we can just provide different icons, and all we have to do is we just go into our Lucid React icons, and let's say I want to search an icon for maybe like a smiley face, and then this smile plus, just make it full screen and just click on React. So this is the string we have to pass, which is smile plus. Let me just copy this string if I can. So let me just copy it, and let's go into our bio sections. But let's say for our title end-to-end engineering, I want to keep our icon as our smiley plus. So once you publish this stuff, this is where the real magic will happen. Now if you just close over here and go into our about section and let's refresh this, you can see right over here you are getting that smiley icon, as well as your third paragraph says that the paragraph is updated. And that's how you create your bio section rendered headlessly via .cms. So that's all from this video. In the next video, we will be targeting our next sections, which will be our personal laboratory, as well as our core philosophy and our ending card. So see you on the other side. Thanks for watching.